Alright, GameLeapers, what's going on? How many of you guys have actually seen the changes on Twitter for 13.6? Because they came out today. So if you guys want to know like what champions, what items, what runes are getting changed in 13.6 and most likely going to get changed, make sure you stick around for the whole video. Also guys, I just recommend as well checking out the GameLeap website, link down below in the description and comment section, because I myself and our other challenger players and coaches are uploading daily content for our subscribers, and guess what? That is actually the real stuff that will help you improve. You can watch as many of these patch videos as you want. Like we recently did a jungling video, right, a couple of days ago. That's going to help you 10 times more than a video like this one. Of course, if you do actually enjoy these videos, then leave a like down below, because this is really just like us updating you on what's changing in regards to the meta. But yeah, speaking of those changes, let's get into the 13.6 notes we have so far. Now, champion buffs. Now, perhaps like the biggest set of changes here are coming to Vayne. So what's happening? Your passive movement speed, where you get movement speed. If an enemy champion is visible on your screen, you get an extra 15 movement speed. This is kind of cracked because this is going up pretty much 50%, and for Vayne, movement speed is such an important stat. Now also, your Q's attack damage ratio is increasing from 60 to 80%. It's now scaling from 75% all the way to 115%. So even in the early game, like this is a big percentage increase, and you will feel this, especially in the late game, of course, because it's going up 35%. Now the Q buff duration, where you get the enhanced auto attack, this is actually lasting a lot shorter, so only 3 seconds. This means you're going to be a bit more precise with your Q, and you won't be able to just hold on to it and pressure the enemy champions in your lane. But honestly, it's not really the biggest nerf in the world, and they're also changing your W's percentage HP damage, so you're probably just going to be maxing your Q first, because they're actually increasing this at early ranks and decreasing it at later ranks. And in the top lane, I think this is going to make Vayne the most broken champion in the game, honestly. Like top lane Vayne, more movement speed, your Q is going to deal more damage, and your W at rank 1 is going to be dealing way more damage to those champions with a lot of HP. This is going to be an insane patch for Vayne. That is if these changes do go through. Any Vayne mains, any AD carry mains, let me know in the comment section what you think of them. I just think these are massively overtuned. Now, sticking with the AD carries here, the other champion getting buffed is Ashe, and Ashe recently has copped a lot of changes, right? Because support Ashe has been really broken and picked and banned in pro play, right? So the balance team have given her the treatment, but they're actually giving her a good treatment here because they're increasing your passive damage when you're attacking an enemy champion who has frost on them. So pretty much when you slow an enemy champion with your attacks or abilities, those auto attacks you deal to them, they're going to be dealing an extra 5% damage now, which is actually like kind of big. I think this is low-key really good for Ashe, and AD carry Ashe has kind of copped it because of the W-based damage nerf, right, from last patch. I think this will actually make her good again. Will it make her OP? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Ashe mains, let me know down below what you think. Now, moving to the mid lane. So for Talon, your base mana is increasing from 377 to 400, and sticking with the mana buffs, your W's mana cost is going down by 5 at each rank. Because you're maxing this first, this is your big wave clear in the early game. It's pretty much like the only thing that helps you CS against like oppressive ranged champions who want to bully you early on. This is huge for Talon. Also, your passive damage is increasing by 5 in the early game all the way to 25 in the late game. And because your passive is such a big part of your kit, this is also massive. Now also, your ultimate's damage is increasing from level 11 or rank 2 and a rank 3 or level 16 as well. Now the big thing here for Talon, of course, the base mana and your mana cost and your W going down are huge, but also your passive damage and your ultimate damage increasing means that you can actually probably afford to go like maybe tankier builds, not like full bruiser like back in the day with Gore Drinker. I mean, maybe you could still make it work, right? Because base damage is increasing. This means you can actually afford to go something else, but really I'm talking here something like Eclipse and Ghostblade or Black Cleaver, right? You're going something a little bit more kind of defensive than just full out lethality or like Prowler's Claw, you know, Ghostblade, Edge of Night, something like this, right? So it opens up more builds for Talon, but these look like really nice buffs, and in the mid lane he's going to be so much better. Now the other champion getting buffed, this is Galio, and honestly I think these buffs are really placebo. So your E's cooldown going down by a second gives you a bit more pressure in lane, yeah, when you get your E back up, and in teamfights maybe you get like another one off. And the other buff here is that your W's damage reduction is going up, and it's also going to scale more off the MR you have. But this looks like, you know, if Galio was a tanky champion. Can you guys remember when Galio was picked as a top laner? He was just like a pure tank, and you used to just like stack magic resist. Nowadays, it's not really the case because you want to be building AP. The only item that maybe like suits this buff is Banshee's Veil, but are you really going to get Banshees as Galio? Probably not, right? So I think both of these buffs are pretty placebo, and they're not really going to change much for Galio. Now moving into the champion nerfs. Yumi is getting nerfed. I don't even care like what the nerfs are, guys. Like, you guys can read these, right? And you can, you know, I don't know, go on Reddit and see what people are saying. I don't care. Delete this champion and I'll be happy. Honestly, like, I'm calling for it. Guys, if you're playing ranked, if you're playing actually any sort of League of Legends, ban Yumi. Seriously, I want her ban rate to be like 100%, so right, have no choice but to remove her from the game. She's super OP at the moment because of the changes in this patch, or last patch, I guess, 13.5. And yeah, I'm just sick of talking about her. Ban her, get rid of her. Now, two other champions getting nerfed. Both of these actually reside in the mid lane, and one of them you can play in the bot lane, this being Veigar, and this is where these nerfs are targeted towards bot lane Veigar. Your base HP going down to 550, your base armor going down by 3, and armor in the bot lane, lots of champions are attack damage based. This means you're going to be squishy early on, and also your W's damage is decreasing in the early game, but increasing at later ranks. Now, are these really big nerfs for Veigar? Like, are they going to make him, like, unplayable? Of course not, right? He's still going to be very broken, and the thing about your armor going down and even your base HP is that you're still very hard to touch, right? Because of the buffs a couple of patches ago where they increase your range on your Q and your W, you can still stand, like, really far back and kind of chill. Even if Veigar's base armor was, like, 0, it doesn't actually really change too much. So I still think Veigar's win rate as an AP carry bot lane is going to be off chops. Of course, in the mid lane, this is a bit of a nerf because you are in a 1v1 and there are oppressive champions in the early game in the mid lane, especially against AD assassins, right? So Talon, Zed, your base armor going down, you're going to get hit a lot harder and probably die a lot more. But yeah, bot lane Veigar, you're still chilling. Now, Aurelion Sol is the other champion getting nerfed, guys. These are for sure nerfs, but are they going to make Aurelion Sol like not an S+ tier champion in pretty much like every single rank? I don't think they will. I still think he's going to be really OP. So your E cooldown being a flat 12 seconds, the amount of Stardust required for your second ultimate, so your upgrade is now going up to 100. Your stun duration on your ultimate and the knockup duration are both going down to 1 second. Your cast range on your R1 is decreasing, and the R2 cast range is also decreasing. They're both going to be 1100. Honestly, Aurelion Sol with this, like, you know, Roa and Rylai's, with so much HP you get, even though his HP got nerfed in 13.5, his win rate is still like 53% across every single rank. Get me out. Now, system buffs, guys. The only item getting buffed here is Nash's Tooth, and Riot have called it a buff, so what's happening is the cost is going up by 200 to 3200 in total, and the ability haste is going up to 15. So pretty much you're getting 15 ability haste for 200 gold, which kind of sounds efficient. But the issue here is that people or champions building Nash's 2 for the moment, so if we think of Katarina, Kayle, if we think of Gwen, ability haste, they don't really care too much. Maybe Gwen, like, it feels really nice to have ability haste. But for Katarina, for Kayle, this doesn't actually really do anything. This is just like a straight up nerf, and I think this is really unfortunate for those champions. But some champions will benefit, of course. Champions like maybe Diana, maybe Echo. Gwen can still definitely feel this. Maybe even like AP Shaco might be interested by this. Maybe Kai'Sa will be interested by this because the ability haste, also Nash is giving you attack speed, right? For your evolutions and AP, of course, 100 AP, that is a big chunk. It is to the benefit of some champions. It is to the detriment of other champions. Now, system nerfs, we've got 5 to talk about. First of all, dragons. The kill buffs are going to be reduced by around 10 to 15%. This just means that dragons are going to be less important, or I guess like impactful on the outcome of a game. So yeah, kind of a nerf to like the bot side of the map, I guess. Now, BT is getting nerfed. The shield you're getting is just decreasing at every single rank. The shield is actually like activating earlier at level 8. Don't really think this changes anything. But yeah, BT is just getting nerfed here, the shield you're getting from this. And staying on this kind of like topic of BT, Bloodline is also getting nerfed. So the maximum lifesteal you're getting is decreasing, and also the max HP you get once you stack the item is decreasing as well. So if you're going something like Bloodline, BT, and then you're getting shield bow as well, pretty much makes you unkillable as an AD carry, and you should be killable, right? So it's maybe unfortunate they're nerfing like everything here regarding this like kind of setup, but yeah, this is what the balanced team are doing. Now, Navori Quick Blades is also getting nerfed, guys, so the cooldown refund is going down to 12% from 15%, and the reason I think Riot are doing this is just because champions like, you know, Ezreal, maybe Kai'Sa, Zyra, of course, these ranged champions, these AD carries, are actually just like abusing this item a bit too much, right? Especially those AD carries I mentioned, because it means your cooldowns, your abilities are on such low cooldowns. Like, it's really annoying to play against, right? But for champions like Gangplank, like Tryndamere, other champions, like melee champions for the most part who are building this, are going to be more affected by this. So again, pretty unfortunate for champions like GP, like Tryndamere, who are going to Navori. This will affect you a lot. Now, Lethal Tempo, guys, is the final thing getting nerfed here, and if you have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like down below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future Season 13 uploads. And for Lethal Tempo, the range attack speed is decreasing, so the actual stacking in the early game is decreasing, and this is going to be maxed out at level 18 now, so you get the extra 54% rather than at level 12. Definitely enough, for sure, but you're still getting 24% extra attack speed once it's max stacked, and you're still getting 54% at level 18. Most games and most helos are still going to go into the late game. So these are nerfs on paper, but I don't think it's going to have like the biggest impact in the world. But those were the changes, guys, we know of so far for 13.6. Again, any thoughts, any questions you have, leave them in the comment section. And until our next season 13 upload, this has been Iggs. Peace.